What's up, everyone? Andre here, along with Jake, Tom, and Don, to discuss the big news of the day, the thing we've all been waiting for, a brand new Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase. Maybe not quite what everyone was hoping for, but hey, it is a Nintendo Direct, so we're here to give our predictions for it, along with some of the GX crew, the ones who are at least awake and conscious at this hour. So chat, how are y'all doing today? Let us know if we're sounding okay in the chat as well at the same time, and on that note, let's do a quick sound off by giving how hyped we are right now. What we're thinking, what we're overall expecting for this Nintendo Direct, before we get into the nitty-gritty predictions. Jake, let's start with you. How are you feeling right now? I need a temperature check. I need a vibe check on this whole thing.
I'm feeling good. I feel like, everybody gets nervous. We hear that mini and we go, ugh. And then we hear that partner showcase and we go, ugh. But I think something strange is going to happen at this Nintendo Direct mini partner showcase. And I think that this will be the best one of these that there's ever been. So my hype.
Wow.
Is at a 7 out of 10.
Real quick, Jake. You say that as if there's a long pedigree for this. I believe there were 4 other partner direct showcases, so there's not a ton of them.
No.
But, however, Jake, to your credit, however, or to a point in your favor, perhaps, this is the longest one we've had. The Japanese Twitter, I think, said it's estimated to be 25 minutes long, 25 minutes in length, whereas I think the previous longest was 17 or 18 minutes. So maybe there might be some big stuff here. Don, how about you?
Twitter account, by the way, the European Twitter account also had 25 minutes.
Perfect, great. So it seems like a worldwide thing. So Don, how are you feeling about this?
I feel alright. Like, the last 2 that were in 2020 were actually 5 from July until October. I feel the last 2, the one in September around Tokyo Game Show, well, Tokyo Game Show Online back then. And then the one in October were actually pretty good, what they showed. So I don't really mind this much, especially when it comes to third-party games. But it does sting a little bit that we won't hear as much as first-party games as we probably want to. For me, it's also roughly a 7 out of 10.
Okay. Tom, where do you weigh in on this?
Well, I wasn't super surprised because we had some of the news over the weekend hinting at this, but it's like taking everything I want for Direct and just squishing it down slightly. So, I mean, 25 minutes though, that's promising to hear. Longer than expected, and hey, hopefully respecting our time. And it's kind of like if you took the Xenoblade one and this one like together, it's like the length of the Direct. So, hopefully it just means more surprises later on in the year too.
That is true. I still think there is a proper Nintendo Direct coming. I mean, there always is at some point, but I think there's one part sooner than later. Yeah. This is not that replacement, but it's also not the one people are hoping for at this moment in time. So I guess real quick, before getting into our specific predictions, why do you think we're getting this partner showcase? It's been nearly 2 years since the last one, October 2020. I think everyone assumed we were done over with them, figuring that was a COVID thing, though we are still very much in the COVID era. Why now? Why do you think we're getting a partner showcase now in a time when everyone wants that premium E3 quality Nintendo Direct?
Andre, nothing makes more sense than us getting this partner showcase right now. Nothing.
Okay.
All right, let me tell you. Okay, let me spell it out. So first, we have a slate of first-party games coming in our calendar right now that we can point to that looks fantastic, good, whatever, locked in. But second, I think it makes sense that for a potential E3-like thing, these third-party advertisement deals, who knows how far in advance they're made, and it's probably time to follow up on some of those things. And as we get into our predictions and what we think we will see, I think there are several things that have been cooking for quite some time that simply need to be talked about here.
All right, I like the way you're making this sound, Jake.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Does anyone else have thoughts on why we're getting this now?
I would say it's just probably agreements with third parties. And if it's one of the rumored ones, that's kind of a big one not to ignore. And at the same time, if Nintendo wants to slip in a couple of their own announcements in there, it's a great time with, all the announced Nintendo 64 Online games being out. But maybe that's a prediction. I don't know.
Okay, I was wondering where you're going with that one. I'm like, you're raising people's hopes too high, but I think maybe on something with that one, Tom. All right, Don, do you have any thoughts on that real quick, or should we get into predictions?
I mean, Likely, there's still plenty of third party to talk about and stuff that's kind of in the ether floating around where we've heard about stuff for ages ago and not again ever. With first party, like Jake said, we kind of know what's up until September. And it would be maybe more wiser to have something around that time then. Even though I do think in August we get like another Splatoon Direct or something. So who really knows?
I'd love that.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely get a Splatoon Direct for sure. On top of a still think a standard Direct at some point. But yeah, I mean, I think we raised a good point here. Like, there are just so many first-party games to know about. Like, this year has been nuts for first-party games, and there's plenty more coming. Not that I still don't think there couldn't be a surprise or two in there, but it's like we've never known. I feel like we have not known this much about Nintendo's future in quite some time. But that doesn't mean people don't want to see more of that future, especially when it comes to, say, Breath of the Wild 2, where we've seen like almost legit nothing from that game. And what they do show off somehow makes it more confusing than what we knew before. So we gotta hold out for that, hopefully, still. But real quick for me to chime in on this, my hype level, I'm at a 4, a solid 4 out of 10, baby. See, people think
no disappointment.
Yeah, well, people think I'm streaming from, like, the layer of the Nintendo Direct layer right now. This is actually hell behind me. These are the flames of the fiery passion of fan flames that are going to erupt tomorrow. I do think, though... Fury. Yeah, exactly. If we had Bowser's Fury here, or an update for it, I'd take it. But I do think one thing, I was looking back at some of the previous partner showcases, as I mentioned, like, you know, they were all a little bit shorter than this. This one is almost reaching full-length Direct territory, like just sneaking in under that mini branding there. But there were typically very little in the way of like first-party announcements. I think one of the biggest ones we've had was I believe it was Hyrule Warriors DL or Hyrule Warriors Calamity. I think the announcement thereof may have been in the partner showcase or DLC. I didn't watch enough to say which one it was.
Yeah, it was the demo. It was the demo.
Okay,
launch
maybe
trailer, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that was the final thing in that one, the last one in October, where they said hey, the demo is available now.
So yeah, when Nintendo says these are third-party focused, like, they mean it. Like, they don't go in expecting big first-party things here. If we get anything first-party related, we'll be lucky for that. Anyways. On that note, let's get to our predictions. Let's get into our hopes and expectations for what we're expecting to see here in this Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase. Jake, let's start off with you, especially since you may have to leave early. So,
of course. Okay, so first thing, if you've gone to the Nintendo eShop in the past, like, year and scrolled all the way to the bottom of the coming soon list, there has been a game that you've all probably forgotten about that has been sitting there forever. I'm of course talking about Star Wars Hunters. This free-to-play mobile something Star Wars game that we've seen footage of like once or twice. Star Wars Hunters, it's coming here, baby. We're gonna see it. Will it be good? I can't say. but I think we will definitely see Star Wars Hunters here if that's something that tickles your fancy.
Star Wars is the new hotness, Jake, as you know.
Yes.
Obi-Wan just wrapped up, and they have the Fortnite collab going on now. Star Wars is back, so now's the time, right?
I said to everyone, Obi-Wan, amazing. Love that first episode. Last episode, trash. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. There it is. There's the take.
That is a hot take. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if anyone has thoughts on that specific Star Wars game. This is the first I've been hearing of it. So, all right.
I just need it was a random. I mean, it was a random announcement during the Direct, and it's made by Zynga. What else do you really want to know at this point?
Jake wants to know all of it. Jake needs to
Listen, it's like a Star Wars like hero shooter type thing. They got this weird like Wookiee guy that you can be. I'm kind of interested. Like I'm kind of interested. It's free. It's nothing. You know what? Okay. Let's go to a real prediction here. If that didn't tickle your fancy, let me hit you with one. Okay. We are going to see Persona tomorrow for the Nintendo Switch. Now listen, you're probably over there going, oh, okay, Persona 4 Golden. Sure. Persona 5 Royal? Maybe. Yeah, probably. Persona 3 Portable? Sure. No, we're going to see a new spin-off Persona game for Nintendo Switch. Something in the vein of Persona Q.
Persona Q free. Rip it up, everybody.
Yeah. And I think that's exciting.
I think that would definitely excite a ton of people. So anything Persona, and there were rumblings that Persona would be here in some form. So you're thinking in the form of a brand new spin-off game, right?
I do think that all of the things I did say will probably be there. And like, if you remember like a year ago, maybe-ish, we had a Nintendo Direct that was like, look at all these sweet Danganronpa games coming to Switch. And then there's also this new little spin-off thing. And that, I think that's related to Spike Chunsoft. And I think Spike Chunsoft also made Persona Q. So I think there's going to be a bunch of Persona stuff coming. I will of course be there for like 3, 4, 5. I would love to play all those on Switch. Honestly, I'm a total mark for those, so I'd love that.
Well, I think that's
maybe I'm pulling out the monkey's paw, but at some point I also have the feeling that Persona 5 could be a cloud version.
Oh
boy,
that's possible. Combine those two together in one announcement, like, hey, here's your new Persona game, and cloud version. Have another
You
one.
think so? It couldn't be that taxing of a game. It was on PS3. It's maybe, I don't know what the size is of that game. Maybe it's just too dang big.
My problem is I don't know how much effort they really want to put in. That's more my concern with it.
Real quick, we have a hot take prediction from Daniel Jackson that says, I predict disappointment. And that's probably accurate. All right, Don, let's move on to you. What prediction do you have for us?
I definitely think they're going to talk about tomorrow about Life Alive. This seems like the last opportunity for them to really mention this game.
That's coming out soon,
especially
right?
now.
Yeah.
It's coming out a week before Xenoblade. It's so bad.
Jeez. And they're both JRPGs, right?
Yeah, it feels so bad for it.
Yeah.
Because it's such a fantastic game. I played a French translation a couple of years back, and that game is fantastic. Honestly, I feel they should talk about that game, because they have put out like the small trailers of every era for it, but they haven't really talked about it in depth what that game is actually like. And honestly, they might have to drop a demo for people to keep interested in that game.
That's a good one. Nintendo's been all aboard the demo train recently. They've had demos for all kinds of things. And I think that game would be would be perfect for one. I think there's a lot of people who are maybe curious about it, but don't want to commit to buying it first. So, and Square's the publisher of that, right? Or is it Nintendo? It was Nintendo.
Yeah, in Europe and America, I think it's Nintendo.
Yeah, it better be Nintendo, but it invalidates my previous point I was just making. It's early for me, everyone, so...
sure.
But we've seen demos, my point more was that we've seen demos work out for Square's games already on the platform, so it would be for similar types of games, so we should get a demo for this. So I hope you're right there, Don. Tom, how about you? What prediction do you have for us?
Are we going to go just third-party predictions right now?
You can do whatever you want, I don't care.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go, I think the rumored Red Dead Redemption 2 is likely, coming off Grand Theft Auto Trilogy last year, and how big of a publisher that is to like help spur, maybe that's a pun, I don't know at this point in the morning, a Nintendo Direct Mini instead of nothing.
I want a Nintendo Direct nothing. I want that to be the official brand.
That's saying, it's like, hey guys, it's nothing. We're not going to waste your time, but everyone come in and then light the internet on fire after. It's going to be
We're
great.
doing great over here.
I think Nintendo Direct Nothing is basically the subtitle of the first partner showcase back in July 2020.
Yeah, pretty much.
We just want to hang out with you guys.
Nintendo Direct Hangout. So,
Tom, I agree with you. I feel like that Red Dead, the rumor is it's Red Dead Redemption 2. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's 2.
Okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I feel like you hear these stories about kind of the huge third-party success on Switch for these things that you think maybe like, oh, there's no way that could run on so-and-so. I think we all remember like Witcher 3, I think kind of like exploded on Switch. And I kind of see this game in a similar, kind of path as that.
Yeah, it's been 4 years. It's probably a bit different, than Grand Theft Auto, but I think they'd have some time to figure out some hang-ups from their game last year.
So you may very well be right, Jake. Like, we've seen tons of ports, tons of impressive ports that, how many impossible ports have we had on the Switch at this point? I will say, though, my first reaction hearing Red Dead Redemption 2 was, how? How are you going to get that to work on the Switch? Especially because I feel like, I don't know, I could be off base with this, but I feel like Rockstar has like a certain like expectation like visually for their games. I don't know the Switch people meet it. I base this on absolutely nothing but a gut feeling. However, I'm gonna twist that prediction. I think that I think we will have a Rockstar game here, but I don't think it's gonna be Red Dead Redemption 2. I think it will finally be Grand Theft Auto 5. I think that's finally gonna come to the Switch. We just had the trilogy. Why we gotta have 5?
Not happening.
There was 1 second, a split second in my evil side of my mind saying, Rockstar table tennis, let's go.
Hey, that's if Swiss Sports is not going to deliver us the table tennis we need, let Rockstar take care of it. So
Split between that and the table tennis game. I mean, I would take the table tennis game, to be honest.
all right. I'm gonna spice things up at this point. I'm gonna throw in a little bit first party stuff here. It's actually not that spicy because it's kind of obvious. But even though it seems like there probably won't be anything first party directly from Nintendo, there is kind of one fun exception to this. Maybe two exceptions. Mario plus Rabbids, baby. Sparks of Hope. That is published by Ubisoft, of course. They are a third party, despite it being a first party IP. This is their chance for it to be a longer, better look at this game. There's so much about it that we haven't seen yet, including like an actual breakdown of the battle mechanics. Now, my slight hesitation with this is the fact that Nintendo partner showcases actually don't perform all that well. They get like, on average, 1.5 million views, which is nice, it's fine, not amazing. So my thought is that, would they want to put it here instead of in the full direct? Or maybe they'll just do both. And that's maybe what I'm thinking here. We get some of it here, some of it later, and but I think there's a very good chance that we see it at this showcase.
That's interesting. I didn't know that about the performance of the partner directs. That's something I had not considered, but I do think it has a very good chance of appearing here. My one concern would actually be that I know there were rumors months and months ago that this game was actually delayed to 2023. And I'm wondering if that would stop it from appearing here. Or I know that, like, I feel like Ubisoft was just like hit hard by the pandemic. So who knows what's going on over there. But it does feel like this game has been mysteriously missing for quite some time since it was announced. Another game that, if you scroll to the bottom of the coming soon section of the eShop, has been just hanging out there.
How often are you hanging out down there, Jake? Like, is that just
way too much? I love going through that list. It is so fun. Oh my god.
Yeah, okay, so you think we may not see it here then?
I think if we see it here, it is going to be a look that is not appetizing. Okay. I think it's going to be, remember, this game exists. Here's some cute little things, not the gameplay deep dive. And I do think, unfortunately, that it is going to be we're just not talking about this game too much right now because it's not coming till next year.
Or they promote something where they will do a bigger gameplay showcase somewhere later down the line.
Sure.
Yeah. So, I'm going to be honest, Jake, I've gone back and forth. Like, a few months ago, I felt like, maybe it is going to be pushed out. At this point, though, for whatever reason, I'm back on 2022, back on the 2022 train. Maybe it's with the delay of Zelda that I feel like they kind of need a bigger first-party ish title for that holiday season. They haven't announced a release date yet, so it could come before then as well. But I expect it'll be in the fall season at the earliest. So, I don't think they announced a quarter. Anyways, Don, what do you have next?
I think they're finally going to talk about the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters on consoles.
That's a good one.
Ooh.
Jake's face there.
No way. No. Oh man, I did not see that coming at all. That's so funny. I just have no confidence in them to do that. And if they did do that, I almost feel like Square's so weird about the way that they announce things. I don't know if it would show up here, but they do have a fun little thing with Nintendo going, or at least they have the past several years. Yeah, that'd be a cool announcement.
It would make sense to not announce it for such a long time and be like, we're just dropping into the partner showcase. Why the heck not?
Wow.
Yeah, you never know. You can never fully know, so we'll see.
I guess that does kind of bring up the point of, we are getting this showcase, and we do have to ask ourselves, like, who are the big Nintendo third-party partners that kind of would justify an event like this showing up? And I do feel like Square is one of them, but like, I totally agree that Live Alive is going to get a push. And I don't know if I could see another game, especially with similar graphics, showing up here. But something I could see showing up here from Square is a new Kingdom Hearts spin-off.
OMG.
Oh.
Yeah! Oh man.
I have no confidence in.
Oh no. See, that's something that I feel like Kingdom Hearts is cooking right now. We just got that weird little look at Kingdom Hearts 4. And it had, a new fun-looking Sora with normal feet. And I think that, like, No, this is a thing, Andre. Andre, don't give me that look. Okay, he's got weird big Mickey Mouse feet, but in this trailer, he had normal sized feet.
All right.
And I do think that there's a chance that we get alongside that game like a fun little cartoony, normal looking Kingdom Hearts, kind of like a Dream Drop Distance kind of game.
The reason why I wouldn't say that is they just had the anniversary and talked about all their future projects.
Oh.
I saw Jake's soul leave his body in that moment.
Well, that's a bit of a bummer, I would say.
Yes.
Oh, that's too bad. I felt like we had a good thing going there. All right. Well, Actually, now I'm gonna move on to another prediction here. Or actually, more of a question in this case. But I don't fully know what to think myself. But we were talking about big partners like anchor this partner showcase, and there is another big third-party title coming up. I alluded to earlier. It's almost first party at this point, being Bayonetta 3. Are we gonna see it here?
No.
Whoa! I have no idea what's going on, guys. Tell me why no. Is it not time?
It's fully monetized and publicized by Nintendo.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you don't think it counts for the qualifications?
The only reason why Age of Calamity, for example, was in one of my partner showcase is that Koei Tecmo is publishing it in Japan.
I see. Whoa.
This is fully monetized and publicized by Nintendo. I don't think Bayonetta 3 will be here.
I forget the title, Alive or whatever. Is that published by Nintendo, or is that not published by Nintendo worldwide too? Then.
No.
Okay, so yeah, maybe that's a carved out exception. So, regardless of that fact, however, I was not expecting it here anyway. That feels like that's like full on direct caliber. I think that's how I feel. I could be totally off base, but I feel like that's one where they want getting back to my the numbers earlier for the directs. I feel like that's one they want as many people watching as possible, especially with that assumingly still being a big title later this year. So
is just because we said Tecmo Koei a couple times and that whole thing. So we just had Fire Emblem Three Hopes.
Yes.
Is DLC for that something we could see at this?
Yes, we could.
What do we think?
Okay,
It's weird that they wouldn't have announced that beforehand, though. There's definitely a possibility of there being DLC. I do think they would have announced that beforehand if they were doing DLC.
Counterpoint, they always make DLC, don't they? They did for the last.
I don't know. I don't feel like maybe Jake, you have a better interpretation of that. I'm close to the end of my first route. I don't really feel like there's a way they can slice in a new story scenario.
Oh no! This game's definitely gonna have DLC. This game's definitely gonna have DLC. So there are characters in the game that are all but built out that are not playable. Sure. That are obviously these would be characters that I think would make sense on a banner. I'd be like, oh yep, there they are. And there's also the paralog battles that you can just kind of throw in and be like, oh, these are a bespoke DLC mission focused on the character specifically that we're adding. I think it makes perfect sense.
Okay. So do you think we'll see? You think we'll see it here, Jake?
If I don't really know how the whole the development side of it being a third party thing or not, what we consider it. But if we do consider it one of those things, then yes,
it's one of those. Yeah.
All right.
Because
cool.
in fact, if you download the Japanese version, which I did, it doesn't connect with the European demo.
Oh, that's interesting.
That makes sense.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So maybe maybe yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I've already lost track of the order, but I think Tom, I don't think we've heard from you for a prediction in a little bit. What do you got for us?
Okay, prediction. Nope, but we just got a super chat.
All right, from Val.
Donation.
Oh.
Thank you, Valentine.
Yep.
I predict Bowsette and Mushroom Kingdom Warriors. Well, I would. The Mushroom Kingdom Warriors I would take. I think that might have been even in Joey's feature about Warriors games. I don't know whether it was that Bowsette part. That is less realistic, although more likely for a third party, perhaps. But
honestly, a Warriors game would be the perfect way to have an official Bowsette. That is I think the most likely way that it would come. Oh man, it's too close to Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, obviously. But man, I'm loving these Nintendo Warriors collabs. I can't wait for Splatoon Warriors, Pokemon Warriors. That's the dream. That's the dream.
Pikmin Warriors, baby. I want that.
Yeah.
So, but probably a little too soon right now. Although that'd be amazing if they did. Okay, Tom. Sorry. Did you give a prediction there? I got distracted.
I think my prediction is we'll see more of the lineup from N64 Online. I think Nintendo will use this for their small little section about themselves to push their subscription service, basically, to get people subscribing to Nintendo 64 Online, especially now with maybe harder times for some people and inflation. Some people might not be getting games. Hey, subscribe to Nintendo Online service.
I'm gonna go a step beyond that, Tom. First off, though, some context. Now it just makes sense to announce more 64 games, more for the expansion pack. We don't know what's coming next. Pokemon Snap just came out. That is the last official game we knew for the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. Meaning, if they're gonna stick to their roughly one a month schedule, we need to know what's coming up next. And of the 16 games that are in the expansion pack for 64, only 2 are third parties. There are tons of third-party games out there that could come to the service, which is why this is a great time to announce them. Like, that's a great way to tie it in. It's like, hey, here's some major third-party games coming in the next, for the rest of the year. And I think the one to lead it off, or at least the big one to show off, is GoldenEye, baby. I think it's time. I think it's happening. Especially since Microsoft Studios is one of the games that's already on there. One of those 2 games I mentioned with Banjo-Kazooie. Let's make it happen. I think it'll be there. I think we're gonna finally see it in this partner showcase.
Oh,
No.
Jake shaking his head.
Jake!
Jake's
No,
like,
no.
you guys don't give me Bayonetta, you don't get GoldenEye. Like, come on.
Is that how it is?
Listen, here's what I think. I think that, like, yeah, we did just have Pokemon Snap come out, and we do need to know what's next. That is totally true. But why would we get that tomorrow when we could get it in the coming weeks in a bigger Nintendo Direct? Like, I get what we're saying. It's like it's an old third-party game, whatever. But my understanding of the GoldenEye thing that is coming is that it is not. I really don't see it being part of the Nintendo Switch Online thing, and I do kind of see it being as more of like a new release. And if that's the case, I do think that is a favor of it showing up in this Direct. But I'm not even super confident that thing's coming to Switch. So I'm not willing to bet anything on GoldenEye unless seeing GoldenEye.
So you're pouring all kinds of rain on this this prediction.
I am. I'm raining on the GoldenEye parade. Tom's got something though.
I like to say Nintendo likes to have an announcement so people don't just light the internet on fire after Direct. I think they have to give us some bone, even though it's like not something that everyone will play at this point. Like, I don't know how many people would be actually hyped for GoldenEye except for us old folks, but
At that point, right?
There's
Like,
gotta be
if you
something to
want
like temper it down. But Rare being a third-party developer,
Yeah.
if not GoldenEye, I predict Diddy Kong Racing.
Yes.
Okay, now this
as
is
part
good.
of the next
This is-
16.
I can
Next
support
6
this, Tom. This is good. I like this. Because
Yeah.
GoldenEye, I don't think GoldenEye is even as big of an announcement as Diddy Kong Racing would be.
I will say though, like you say, oh, they want to wait until next month. If they really want to drop something after Direct, why not push a Nintendo 64 game after the Direct is concluded?
That's a good. That's an interesting idea. Yeah, that'd be fun. Shadow drop that.
Aren't we
You at least
too
have,
close?
you at least have one shadow drop.
Right.
So yeah, I mean that's a thing you could do. That's
So-
an easy thing you could do.
Yeah.
So Jake, you could be right. Maybe they'll hold off. I mean, I think there's a possibility it's something that they just post on Twitter. Like, hey, here are our
Right.
next N64 games. Because I don't know. Like, I feel like it's in a middle area where like I don't know if it's like fully like full Direct hype quality, But then again, anything could be going by Nintendo. But I do want to just call out like there's tons of other third-party games that could appear here beyond the the standard Microsoft ones, like Bomberman 64, the Tetris games, Mischief Makers by Treasure. I would love to see all of those on here. Hey, we could get the Resident Evil Capcom games on here. Or game, I should say, at least Resident Evil 2 would be awesome to have on this thing. So, yeah. Real quick, we had a super chat a little while ago from Dried Mango for $5. Thank you so much. Says, prediction, they're holding back on first-party AAA games, AAA games, like Breath of the Wild 2 and Prime 4 to launch in parallel with an updated Switch. Now that's an interesting thought. Now that's how you get
again.
That's how you hold on. That's how you get Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Switch. That's how you make that happen. So if there is somehow a hardware announcement here, that's when you pair it with Red Dead 2. So that's the only way I see it, and I don't think either are happening in this one. But I don't think you're far off necessarily in that possibly happening in the future, near future.
A game that I think could be shadow dropped tomorrow is Genshin Impact.
Oh, that was announced forever ago, wasn't it? Never came.
Yeah, and there was some weird stuff going on with like whether or not it was still coming to Switch, and then I think they even came out and were like, "No, it's coming, it's coming." And you know, it's a game that's already on mobile, and you've got to figure that the development architecture is similar. How much harder could it be to go from mobile to Switch? It's been some time, so I could honestly see that game coming to Switch tomorrow.
Okay.
Another game I could see coming is Outer Wilds. We haven't heard about that one in either for a while for Switch.
Oh, that could be a shadow drop, right? That'd be awesome. If it's like, hey, it's out now. So yeah, that's a great game. Don, what prediction do you have next? Beyond that, we're not counting that one.
I don't have that much left. There's one more, and I don't really think it will be in the European or American one, but I would love to see it. Maybe a confirmation. It's another Square Enix game. Gosh damn it. It's Dragon Quest X on offline.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah,
because it's now coming somewhere in September or October to Japan, and it's now been more shown gameplay, and we've seen how the progression works in the offline version. And I've the feeling they've been waiting to put the pieces together for a while to see what it would look like, for maybe actually like dedicating money to a Western localized release. I think that roughly now, or maybe later, who knows, would be the time that they would consider their options in that regard.
Cool. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Would they go into that even though this is have the direct is airing in Japan too, right? I guess you could always have two slightly different versions. So
it's funny. The direct is also called different in Japan. It's not called Partner Showcase. It's called Software Lineup.
Silver Lineup. Interesting.
Software Lineup.
Software Lineup.
Oh, Software Lineup.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Software Lineup.
That's interesting.
It's a little bit more optimistic sounding there.
Yes, it sure does, doesn't it?
You know, something that just occurs to me is we are kind of concluding our month of, I think it was IGN exclusive Sonic Frontiers coverage, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like, you know, they maybe have a whole month planned of coverage for this Sonic game, and now we're at the end of the month. Could they have planned something, scheduled something with Nintendo to appear here, reveal something new about Sonic Frontiers? Maybe Big the Cat, who knows, you know? But I kind of think we're gonna see Sonic Frontiers here.
That'd be amazing. I mean, that'd be really cool. There's so much of that game clearly that they haven't actually shown off yet. So that would be great. I'm not feeling it myself. Like, I mean, I'm not feeling it to be here, but I'd be happy if it were. So.
Why I'm not feeling it is how it would run on Switch.
That's the part we don't want to see.
Oh right, is that? Yeah, they might be hiding that till the end.
Yeah.
I did imagine the direct announcer with a bad Big the Cat pun though, so that part is very possible.
Nice.
So, are we feeling like that there is a chance that this direct 25 minutes comes and goes and it's full of third-party things we don't care about? Or just like the Star Wars Hunters, the Disney Speedstorm, whatever it's called.
Yep.
The like things. Is there a chance that we get through 25 minutes of this and our EKGs just like flatline? Do we think that that's a possibility?
I mean, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. There's nothing in our hearts that says no. They're choosing to do this. There must be.
Yeah, because outside of Mario and Rabbids, we've been mostly talking about, well, and GoldenEye, we've mostly been talking about Japanese stuff. And that kind of shows, considering the Nintendo focus that we have. But for the same money, like, they could show us a bunch of new Aspire ports, like, who did all the Star Wars stuff.
Right.
That's also very well possible. And would I mind it? Not per se. It's still good to have on Switch.
Yeah, and there's tons of things. I'm seeing people in chat say something like Inscription on Switch, which would be great, but definitely isn't something that like hits you in the presentation. So I wonder, like, I think all it takes is really one thing that we don't see coming, even on the level of like a Cadence of Hyrule. Like something like that, just, you know, like, remember, like, before Mario Rabbids was a thing, if a Mario Rabbids like thing happened here, that would make the Direct, you know, and I guess all they need is one. All they need is one, and I wonder if they have it.
They could.
Yeah.
And I do feel like... Go ahead.
Yeah. It's also telling that it's one presentation, 25 minutes, and it's not tied to a month like it used to be in 2020. This is one presentation.
Right. Great. Right. It's not like a quarterly thing this time, and if we're not like at the start of the pandemic when they're figuring out how the hell to do work from home these days. So yeah, I feel like the context is a little bit different, and we're already seeing that with the fact that it is notably longer than all the other ones. So I do think there is going to be a big impact or two from this, you know, whether in the form of something that's being shadow dropped or some big port coming in, or maybe some new announcement. Or Genshin Impact. That's a literal Genshin Impact. Thank you, Tom.
Like there could be a Capcom thing, like another Ace Attorney game, like, oh my god, and then I never see it coming, but who really knows what happens?
That's the thing,
I've been dreaming of a version of Street Fighter 6 coming to Switch. A special Switch. I've literally had that thought. I'm like, you know what? They could do it. Fighting games aren't super taxing. If they wanted to do a stripped back version of that, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm dreaming.
Version.
No.
Oh God, no.
We need to ban those words from Nintendo Directs. Real quick, Angel had a prediction. Portal Collection release date, please. That Portal Collection. I would love if that hit if we got a release date for the Switch. And they shall drop that even, perhaps.
Yeah.
I want to play those games.
Yeah.
I think we won't see it in the show, but we'll get it like released after.
Yeah. Jake?
Oh, Portal Co-op? We doing this? We rolling Portal 2-player?
Let's do it. I'm down. It's been long enough. I forgot all the puzzles now, so it's gonna be brand new to me. It's great. Yeah, my fear after playing it the first time, I'm like, oh, I remember all this. I can't ever play this game. Like, I look back, I'm like, I have no memory of anything. So perfect.
Cool. Something else I've seen kicking around in the chat is a couple of people have been mentioning something that I would actually like to see: Batman Arkham Collection. I know it's silly. Yeah.
No, Joey would be hyped for that.
Yes, yeah. And like, those games came out so long ago at this point. We've been waiting forever for the next Rocksteady game. It's never gonna come. But I think it would honestly be fun to go back. And I think that, you know, Batman Arkham Asylum running on Switch, I could see that working no problem. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we had Arkham City on the Wii U. You know, we don't like to talk about that, but it was there. And so it would honestly be kind of funny if they were like, oh man, it's the Arkham City the Wii U version of Arkham City is back on Switch, the whatever it was called, like the Armored Edition.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool. I'd love to see those games there. And that's the thing. It's like, I'd love to see those games there. I would buy them, but do they make the presentation? No, I understand that. I get that, but still, I'd like to see it.
I think I remember how hyped you were, Jake, when you saw Arkham Asylum appear on the Wii U E3 2012 reveal.
Gamepad support, you fling those batarangs. Oh,
there we go.
Yeah.
Hey, they could bring that back to the Switch, you know, if you're using the handheld view. So, real quick, we got a super chat from Eduardo. Thank you so much, Eduardo, who says, I'm sure that we'll have a final Sunbreak trailer. I think that's a safe bet. Absolutely. That's coming out in, what, days? I think it's, out this week, I think.
This week, yeah.
Yeah, so it's out super soon. I think that's a safe bet, but I think we've already seen so much of it. I believe we had a preview of it even, that I'm not expecting it to be like, you know, major or anything. But yeah, should be
maybe
fun.
A launch trailer, but
real quick, Jake, how are you doing on time right now?
So far I'm good.
Okay,
I haven't received any texts or anything. I'll let you know. Yeah.
Do we think? Is there I saw someone in the chat mentioning earlier. Do we think we could see Silk Song in indie form during this?
It was recently at Xbox. I don't expect it.
What would they say? What would they say? Because the only reason we would see it is for a release date, and I just don't think so. I just don't.
It's also the same reason I don't really expect Sports Story to be here.
Wait a second. Why can't Sports Story be here?
Because I don't think that game is done yet. I think they want to drop it when it's done at this point.
Oh, it's been so long. Oh God, golf
It's been
Story
so
was
long, I don't
good.
remember what this. Oh, I do. It is hitting me now. Right, the golf
Yeah.
story sequel
Yes.
thing. Okay, yeah. I'm hip. I'm cool.
I mean, who knows? They could surprise us and sports story could be here tomorrow.
It's maybe maybe it's done. Maybe it's ready to go.
Maybe
Wait,
it
we
is.
got a funny suggestion in chat here. I just want to slide this by y'all and see what the reaction is. If we
sure.
think it's bad, just let it go. It's okay. I just want to know. Halo on Switch.
So there were
No, not at all.
There were those rumors for so long
Yes.
that Game Pass coming to us to Switch, and they finally quieted down after a while. So, I mean, Jake, I would love Halo on Switch. It's not happening. Not anytime
Okay.
soon.
All right.
But
Just
first,
curious.
GoldenEye first, then Halo. We gotta work our way up
Okay.
to it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Microsoft is such a rich company that at one point I would say, yeah, Halo Wars is coming to Switch, sure.
I mean, to be fully honest, I will bet you that if Microsoft could get it on Switch, they probably wouldn't. I mean, I guess they could if they really wanted to. But, I mean, it's not impossible. I don't think it's impossible, especially with Halo now being free to play. It makes sense to
Sure.
get it on or the multiplayer specifically, to get that on as many platforms as possible. Go full Fall Guys on this, right? But I also don't think the Switch could really handle that game particularly well. I think that could be an issue. So, maybe Switch 2, though, or Switch Pro, whatever the heck it's going to be.
Or
right.
the forbidden words.
Exactly. Advanced Sniper with a $5 super chat, thank you, asks or says, don't forget about Hogwarts Legacy for Switch. That is something I had forgotten about. That's right.
Yeah, I guess
Me
that's
too.
coming. You know, I mean, obviously, nothing but bad feelings about the Harry Potter franchise goes without saying. But that's one of those games that I feel like I only ever see it mentioned for Nintendo Switch, like at the very end of a trailer, and you see that little logo at the
Yeah.
bottom.
By the way-
and every time I go, no, good luck. Good luck.
It does seem ambitious, so yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
we'll see it here. But you never know. All right, any other predictions, everyone, that we haven't gone to yet?
Well, Triss
No.
had their prediction of seeing more of the Mario Kart DLC on Switch. Do you think we'll see it as part of this showcase?
It doesn't make sense. It based on what we said already, it just doesn't match up. Like that's fully first party, unless somehow it's based on third party properties. A bunch of third party tracks, which
No.
hey, that'd be cool. But
That'd be
yeah,
cool, but-
I'm not seeing it. I think that's either A, part of an actual Nintendo Direct, or B, just gonna be shadow dropped.
The only way that could be in this direct if the Bandai Namco arcade tracks are somehow going to be in Mario
You
Kart
know,
8.
that's
But
an interesting thought. That is an interesting thought. They made tour work. They can make the arcade tracks work here.
I don't think it will
Wow,
happen.
Yeah,
I
I think so.
honestly, no, I don't know, guys. There's a lot of tracks in this thing. Man, I don't know. I don't think it's as unlikely as people think. I actually have no
No.
experience with that game. Are those tracks worth
There's-
anything?
Those tracks are super
those tracks
wide,
are
though.
fun, but yeah, they're wide, but they're fun. But I
Okay.
don't really think they would be there
Yeah,
because in the initial trailer when they announced this, they never even mentioned the arcade games. So
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Nintendo has ever actually acknowledged the arcade games themselves. That seems to be purely a Bandai Namco thing. So it's like, hey, go nuts, guys. We're never going to talk about your games.
Gotcha.
Poor
Gotcha.
CDI.
I guess
Yeah.
it would be weird to include them without having like Pac-Man in the roster,
Yeah, I mean, he was in the arcade version, so
Right. Yeah.
they could bring him in as
Or
a
the
crossover
Taiko
character.
drum.
If they actually, that'd be hype. If they actually added a new character at this point, considering how long it's been, yeah, that'd be nice. All right,
cool.
any other predictions?
no, I'm good.
We're good? All right. I do want to throw out one other thing then real quick. I saw some people on Twitter, just like other people I follow, a couple people mentioning they were hoping for a Resident Evil announcement here. I joked about Resident Evil 2 on 64 possibly, but do you think we could get anything? Do you think there's a chance of anything Resident Evil coming to the Switch?
I don't think so at this point. We got all the ports right now, and I don't think that any of the modern games would be able to run on Switch, except if you do, cloud versions.
You use the N64 graphics in place of the Resident Evil 2 remake assets.
It's just too hard to imagine the commitment of resources just because I feel like so many of the modern now like the Resident Evil games we're talking about, we're mostly talking about remakes where the emphasis is on the visuals. And I just don't, like, philosophically, I just don't know if we're going to see them commit those resources to a system that might not be able to bolster those visuals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The chat is saying Revelations 3. I'm not sure if Revelations 3 is the correct thing at this point because they're working on the new one. Right?
Are they?
Or on the VR version? I think on the VR.
Oh, there was that.
for...
Yeah, there is that, isn't
Yeah.
there? Yeah, so that would be kind of odd, especially.
Yeah.
Something I think neglected to mention is that there were leaks and/or rumors of a Tactics Ogre game that I don't think has been announced yet. So that would definitely be a big pop for that crowd, because I feel like that's something that people have been asking for the whole. I never played those, so I don't really even know what they are, but I know that's something that people have been kind of like asking for a return to for quite some time.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That reminded me of Ogre Battle 64, which could come to the N64 expansion pack. Let's make it happen.
I would be down for that for sure.
Yeah, right. All right, well, I think we're about winding up here, everyone, right? How are we feeling now after talking about this? About the same, any better? Jake, it sounds like you have something to say.
I actually have to go. So this has been a blast. I love you all. My hype has dropped since discussing this. I'm not as... Turns out I was wrong. There's nothing. No. I'm sure it'll be fine. But this was great. Thank you for listening, everybody. I gotta go.
All right.
Have a good rest of your talk. Bye.
Have a good one, Jake. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, let's see if I can switch to a third person. Let me see if I have this here. I don't know if this is gonna work. Yeah, that kind
here.
Oh, that's not gonna work. No, I just broke it. I'm just gonna turn it off the overlay.
Oh no, you broke.
There we go. All right, wait, I kind of got it fixed. All right, we're just gonna roll without the overlay for now. So, anyways, we're pretty much wrapping up here. Any other thoughts, everyone, before we fully finish things off? At this point for the direct. How you feeling, Don? Are you more
I still feel the same. Like I feel like I was very realistic in staying on track here. No, I still feel the same about it. Like Jake said, like near the end, I think that one or two things that we discussed here are definitely going to happen, or some way or degree.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's a pretty lengthy presentation, and that's a bit unusual for the thing it is. So we'll see what happens in the end, I guess.
Yeah, that longer length is either going to work for it or against it. Like, it's going to be one or the other. There's no in between. Where, like, if it's 25 minutes of, like, just banger third-party announcements, awesome. There's a good chance it won't be, and that's just going to feel like a really tedious 25 minutes if that's the case.
Yeah.
Which is the concern. Tom, how are you feeling?
Well, I was feeling a bit lower. And then I read the words "rare replay" in chat. Like, don't tease me. Like, so I think it's just like really gotta go in there, and yeah, it's just expectations. Like, maybe there'll be one thing that I like really like in there, but I hope there's some surprises. I hope there's some. If it's like a new Persona game for Switch, that's gonna make some people happy. I think this one won't be for me. This Direct Mini.
I think it's a thing. These Direct Mini partner showcases are targeting such a broad demographic. Like, it's just like a scattershot approach, right? That I don't know if it's going to be able to make that many people like super happy, right? Like because you're going to be getting all kinds of RPGs, all kinds of games, all kinds of genres represented here. I feel like it's going to be difficult to like really, make a single person really happy about this. Unlike, say, Nintendo Direct, which, to be fair, is also rare based on the Twitter reactions. But you have a higher chance of that because, most of us, I imagine, are Nintendo fans. Nintendo's showing off a lot of their games, so inherently you have that connection there. So we'll see. I will say my hype has gone marginally up. I was at a 4 before. I'm a solid 5 now. I'm at 5. 5 out of 10 for hype for this thing. I am hoping, I am inherently excited to see more of Kingdom Battle. I really hope that's here. I do hope that we have a big announcement or two to justify the longer length, and that could be fun. Yeah, real quick, I
don't want to say something.
Oh, go ahead, yeah.
Like, if this was like a regular Direct Mini, right? Like, without partner showcase, whatever, and they only had, like, maybe 1 or 2 first-party announcements that weren't that big,
yeah.
They've been more disappointing than what it is now.
What do you think, Tom?
Only 1 or 2 announcements, you're saying?
First party, the rest is the same as it would be tomorrow, likely.
So you're saying, like, a Direct only we have this plus a couple of first party announcements. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah.
if that, I mean, I think that would be better. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be better. But at least those act as anchors, right? Like at least you have those central like focal points from which like everything it holds everything else together. So that's a concern going into this, so we may not have that. Although it is possible between possible third-party stuff, as we mentioned, there's the possibility of Bayonetta 3, Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle, or I'm sorry, Sparks of Hope.
Sure.
And those could act as that glue that these kind of need, and that we were lacking for the first, for the 3 or 4 of them in 2020. So
we'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. We got super chat from Josh. Thank you, Josh, who didn't type anything, just left a super chat. Appreciate that. So Liam says, hey, GameXplain, Nintendo Switch Online service has 192 games, including all the Sega Mega Drive games. That's a lot of games, and as I said, I think there's a chance we get more here. And we were talking about Square support earlier. What if they announced that Mario RPG was gonna finally hit the Switch Online service?
I mean,
yeah, I know. All right. Metroid Hunter 373 with a $5 super chat. Thank you. Says, I think Mario Strikers DLC was either delayed or canceled due to poor sales, and especially since we're not getting a regular showcase. First off, thank you so much for the super chat. Secondly, there's no way it's been canceled. They straight up announced that there is content coming to the game, free content, so they're not going to back off of that, and that would help sustain sales. We have no idea what the sales numbers are for that yet. As far as I'm aware, but I'm sure it's sold at least at a base level well enough to justify continuing with that DLC. But
sure.
We won't see it here. We're not going to see it here, I don't think, because it
not
doesn't
here.
make sense. Yeah,
it's going to be a Twitter drop.
Yeah, it could be, unless there's a direct like sooner than that. So
yeah, if it's like a September direct, I mean that could be the time for that. With this game, all you have to do is say, "Hey, there's Daisy," and then it's like a second launch.
That really is. That's a bigger launch than the first launch.
Yeah.
Bill asks, Andre, will Level 5 bring up a new game in years? Ni no Kuni, new online multiplayer game, hasn't gotten a Switch release. So I'm not a huge Level 5 player actively. Don, I think you are, though, more so. So what do you think of this?
Yes. I think Level 5 is mostly in disarray. They had a game last year, which was supposed to be a big franchise for them. They even had anime and some other stuff attached to it called Megaton Musashi. It was like a mech game. I have not heard it much since it came out, which is usually not a good sign. That was their last game they've released too.
Yeah, that is a good point. So probably not, but we live in hope. We are less than 24 hours away from finding out whether any of our predictions are true or not, or even the things we didn't predict are going to be or could happen. And that is always a fun thing, right? Maybe there's something we missed. Maybe there's something we didn't think about. Something that could come here and completely surprise us, completely blow us away, that we just didn't see coming. And I do think now that we are removed from the pandemic, we're not. But now that we're deeper into it and we're, life is more returning to normal, I do think that, I don't know if Nintendo have held a partner showcase if they didn't think there was enough there this time. But I could be wrong. They've had directs before that, of course, disappointed. So We'll see. Any final thoughts, everyone? Don, Tom? I like how that sounds. Don, Tom.
Don, Tom.
Any final words you want to get out there?
No. I feel we've discussed everything. I think we covered every base we possibly could.
All right.
I mean, we couldn't think as much Western games, to be honest. But that's also maybe a Nintendo problem.
Yeah, it might be. Tom.
Yeah. I would love some Western games in there, like seeing something from WayForward and stuff. But I think it's going to be mostly some like really big third parties. And I would, for me, just getting Diddy Kong Racing, if that happens, that's like, that's great. That's all I ask.
That'd be amazing. I love to that point, Infamous X91 randomly shouted out Snowboard Kids. And heck yeah, sign me up for Snowboard Kids. That game was great. I would love that on Switch Online expansion pack. So again, I could tie, both of those would tie super well into the third party thing if they decided to go that route. I do think that would be interesting. It's like, hey, we're going to lay off on the first parties for the next 6 months. Here's just third party 64 titles coming to the expansion pack. But they're probably not going to do that, but hey, maybe. We had a $5 super chat from Eagle Gaming. Thank you so much, Eagle Gaming, who says, what if we got an actual direct in July, knowing Nintendo, if not in June, in July? I know this is a big what if, but maybe likely. I don't think that's unlikely, or I don't think it's impossible. I think that's entirely likely. I wouldn't expect it in the next week or two, though July is just around the corner. But I do think a July Direct is possible.
Even in the summer with everyone on vacation and stuff, you think?
Oh yeah, I don't think Nintendo cares. I mean, that's even better. Everyone's home. Like everyone might tune in. They don't have school to worry about. So yeah, I don't think that's much of a concern for Nintendo. So I do think that's possible. And look, we just had the Xenoblade Direct. That was last week? Yeah, last week at this point. So yeah, like clearly Nintendo's not afraid of having directs like close together. And they've done that before too. Joshua Sosa, I believe, with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Joshua. Says Marvel Midnight Suns. I don't even know anything about this.
Oh, that's the Fire Access game from the XCOM people.
Oh, okay.
So there's a Gummer Game Fest, something weird was going on with that game because the Switch logo was missing despite it coming to Switch. So there's something weird going on with the Switch version.
Gotcha. All right. Well, everyone, I think that's where we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Hopefully, some more predictions come true. If not, hopefully we're excited by what is going to happen tomorrow. 6 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. Stay tuned. We'll be there to react to it all. Real quick, Oscar has predictions. They are Yokai Watch, Dragon Quest, and Genshin Impact. So I think Genshin Impact would legit make a big impact. So that would be great. And I have been curious to try it myself, and that might be the push I need to finally give it a shot. So we'll see. 25 minutes tomorrow, everyone. Stay tuned. We'll be live streaming it then. So with that, thank you for watching, everyone, and we'll catch you later. Have a good rest of your day. Bye, everyone.